All right, let's just get right into it. You know that feeling, it's late, you're scrolling through home listings, and it seems like every single house that isn't a complete teardown costs $500,000. So today, we're gonna do the brutal, honest math that no one in real estate wants to talk about and figure out who on earth can actually afford what they're calling a starter home these days. You've seen them, right? The kitchen's got those laminate countertops from the early 2000s, there's wall-to-wall beige carpet, maybe some questionable wood paneling in the basement, and right there in the description, plain as day, perfect starter home. You start doing the math in your head, looking at your salary, and you just wonder, has the whole world gone crazy? Well, spoiler alert, it's not you, it's the math. And that really is the most important question here. We're not talking about who a bank will approve for a loan. We're talking about who can afford it without turning their entire life into a non-stop financial stress fest. Believe me, there's a huge difference between qualifying for a mortgage and actually being able to sleep at night once you have it. So first, let's just face the uncomfortable truth. In dozens of major cities across the US, places like Denver, Austin, pretty much anywhere near a major job center, $500,000 is now the entry-level price. And we're not talking about a mansion here. We're talking about a basic, maybe 1,200 square foot house that regular people are somehow expected to buy. Okay, here is where the logic just completely falls apart. The median household in the US brings in about $84,000 a year, and we're asking them to buy an asset that costs almost 6 times their entire annual salary. If that ratio sounds completely bonkers to you, congratulations, you're paying attention. So how does anybody make this work? Well, a big part of the problem is that the sticker price you see on the listing, that's just the beginning. It's a marketing number. Let's deconstruct the real costs, because that's where the dream starts to unravel. The very first hurdle, and honestly, where most people's journey ends, is the down payment. The gold standard, the 20% down, means you need $100,000 in cash. Let me just say that one more time. $100,000. Now, let's compare that to reality. The median savings account in America has about $8,000 in it. So you're not just a little short, you are $92,000 short. Even if you somehow manage to save 10% of the median income every single year, it would take you more than a decade to get there. And that's if home prices just magically stood still. So what do most people do? They put down less, a lot less. But when you do that, you get hit with something called PMI, or private mortgage insurance. And let's be real about what this is. It's basically a penalty you pay for not being rich. It's a few $100 a month that does nothing for you. It only protects the bank from you, because they know just how financially stretched you are. Okay, let's build the real monthly payment. Let's say you manage to scrape together a 10% down payment. Your loan, the principal and interest, is going to be around $2,850 a month. But you're not done. Add in property taxes, we'll say $500. Homeowner's insurance, another $300. A responsible maintenance fund, because stuff will break, that's $400 more. And of course, that PMI we just talked about. Your actual all-in monthly cost for this house is now a whopping $4,367. So, with that monster monthly payment in mind, what kind of income do you actually need to afford this house without being in a constant state of panic? Let's work backwards with the cruel, honest math. The standard advice from any sane financial advisor is the 28% rule. Your total housing costs shouldn't be more than 28% of your gross before tax income. That's the guideline for living a comfortable, balanced life. The banks, well, they'll often let you stretch that a lot. So what does this all mean? Well, even if you use the bank's more flexible rules, you're going to need a household income of at least $150,000 a year. And to hit that much safer 28% mark, you'd need to be making closer to $187,000. I mean, let's just put that on a chart and look at it. The income you need to afford this so-called starter home is nearly double what the actual median household in this country makes. This isn't just a little gap, this is a chasm. And so, we get to the punchline. When you run all the numbers, only about 20% of households in the United States even make that $150,000 minimum. Which means by any reasonable standard, 80% of American families simply cannot afford a $500,000 house. That's not an opinion, that's just what the numbers tell us. But wait, people are still buying these homes. So who are they and how are they pulling it off? Well, many of them are stretching themselves to the absolute breaking point. So let's make this personal. Let's look at a hypothetical family we'll call the Johnsons.
So the Johnsons, they're doing great on paper. They have a combined income of $160,000. That's solidly upper middle class. Their take-home pay after taxes is about $9,500 a month. But watch how fast this vanishes. First, subtract the house payment. Boom, they're down to about $5,000. Then take out student loans, 2 car payments, down again. Then groceries, gas, utilities, and suddenly they are left with almost nothing for savings, for emergencies, for, enjoying life.
And this is what being house poor actually feels like in real life. It's that constant low-level anxiety. It's checking your bank account before you go to the grocery store. It's lying awake at 2 in the morning running the numbers in your head. It means one surprise bill, a car repair, a medical issue, is all it takes to push you over the edge. The dream of homeownership turns into a nightmare where you're just a prisoner in your own house.
So what is the point of all this? Is the big takeaway to just give up?
No, not at all.
The point is to understand the game you're being asked to play, so you can decide if you even want to be on the field.
To really get why this is happening, you have to zoom out, look back to 1990. Since then, home prices have exploded, up around 400%. And in that same time, median income has only gone up about 180%. You see the problem? The math literally doesn't work anymore. The system has completely disconnected from the reality of what people actually earn. And this right here is the most important thing I want you to hear. If you feel like you can't afford a house right now, you are not a failure. You didn't do anything wrong. You cannot budget your way out of a massive structural affordability crisis. This is a systemic issue, not a personal one.
Maybe we need to change our definition of wealth. Is it really about having a bunch of theoretical equity locked up in a house that makes you miserable every single day? Or is real wealth something different? Is it having breathing room in your budget? Is it freedom? Is it being able to sleep soundly at night?
And here's the permission slip you might not have realized you needed. You can look at the numbers for our $500,000 house, see that the game is rigged against your income level, and simply decide not to play. There is no award for becoming house poor. Sometimes the smartest possible move is to recognize when a game is designed for you to lose.
So the ultimate question isn't about what a bank will approve you for. It's much simpler and much more important. For your own life, for your family, and for your own peace of mind, is the prize of owning that particular house truly worth the price you're going to have to pay? When you do the honest math, the answer might be a lot clearer than you think.